Scramble! Tigers! Alex Kroll! Alex Kroll has ended up with a ball! Oh no! Unbelievable! One small step for man! One giant leap for Alex Kroll!
Welcome to the ultimate Supercoach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Yes, you are. You are listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. It is Tinlist Tuesday, Tinlist Tuesday of the year. It's round 27. And when I opened TLT at 4 p.m. to have a look at my team, I nearly passed out. Matty. It wasn't good. How you going?
It's something. I'm good. It's something, this TLT. Look, so I was on Facebook Marketplace and then suddenly there's all these Broncos Storm tickets for sale.
I wonder why. You mean to tell me that people don't want to go and watch Tyson Smoothie this weekend?
Well, I actually thought when I saw the guy heading the logo when it popped up on my screen on the email, I thought it was a Queensland Cup ad.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of players out. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that very soon, guys. The show today, as always, is brought to you by the Standard Squeeze and Ryan from Astute Newstead. I'm the Supercoach Brain. Supercoach Mattrix is with me tonight. We talk round 27. We'll talk all the ins and outs. We don't actually have enough time to talk all the ins and outs. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go through all the players that are out this week that's relevant to Supercoach. We'll talk about them just so that everybody's on top of it. We'll also talk through our captain, vice-captain options. You get a free VC loop for the majority this week. I mean, it'll be a miracle if you've got more than 17 players this week. So I don't know whether we even need to talk trades. If there's a miracle where someone has a trade left or something, just get in Ryan Pappenhausen and just enjoy yourself around 27. That's probably my best advice. Episode over.
Oh, you could get in Eli Katoa. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Without Jerome Hughes? I don't know. Don't like him as much without Jerome Hughes in the team.
Yeah, but have a look at who he's running at, like this week. Yeah,
that's true. Neville Nobody. Should be good.
I think it's probably still Jordan Ricky, but anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. It probably is, but anyway, that's fine. Guys, please support the show. It's the last Tinlist Tuesday of the year. First of all, thanks for hopping on, joining us. If you are watching, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, so that we can reach more people. And if you are listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or Google, please hit that follow button and leave us a review, preferably a 5-star one. That'd be cool. Mate, last week I finished on 1235. I dropped 400 spots, which is expected with a 1235 and a captain of Joey Manu. I'm 3300s at the moment. How did you wrap up?
Oh, badly.
Remember how last week you said your team was garbage? Now this TLT is Carnage, I think.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
It's fancy. I buy my clothes at Target. But yeah, after getting 1134, I have dropped another 2,000 spots to outside of the 10K. And look, I took some risks in this last bit of Supercoach to try and make the top couple percent. It didn't work out. And I'm okay with that.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So is the narrator saying that it didn't pay off for you?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cotton, and I might captain Bryce Cotton in the first week of NBL Supercoach. But I don't know who I'm going to captain this week.
That is a very good little segue into NBL Supercoach. It's open. We're going to have some cash comps coming, so don't miss out on those ones. We've also got an overall comp as well, as we always do, total points comp. So if you're into NBL, jump in. Maddie and Rob are going to be running NBL weekly shows as well, which we're excited about.
And if you're not into NBL, still jump in because it's still Supercoach. And you know what? I find AFL Supercoach really intimidating because there's so many fucking players. But when you look at NBL Supercoach, you got to pick like 10 guys and you've got to pick like 5 good ones. It's all right.
It's kind of true, isn't it? You got bloody 22 players in my squad. I don't know who Campbell Chesser is. I don't know who these guys are. Campbell Chesser and bloody... I'm trying to think of another name.
Sounds like a fancy cheese.
Yeah, that is true. And there's Haydens as well. There's a lot of Haydens that play AFL and a lot of Darcys.
Darcy's. So many
Yeah,
Darcy's. I tell you what,
Darcy,
yeah.
Darcy Cameron, which I don't remember anymore. He's the only guy I had in my team because I refused to get more than one Darcy in my team for AFL. So
Yeah. Bryn
got to
Teakle.
be careful. Yeah, Bryn Teakle, what a player. Quick shout out to Ryan from Astute Newstead, and thanks for his support sponsoring the show. For anybody who's kind of stuck a little bit, maybe financially, or you're looking to renegotiate your interest rates on your mortgage, or it might even be a personal loan. It could be a vehicle loan as well. Ryan's got you covered. So you don't have to wonder anymore what the best bank is. You don't have to wonder if your dream home's going to be affordable, because Ryan can definitely help you out. All you need to do is get in touch with him. You can go to his Instagram. It's Ryan Astute Newstead. So you can go and search there. All of the information for Ryan is in the description below as well. So make sure to reach out to him, let him know that we sent you, and he will look after you. No cost and no obligation, free consult too, which is cool. So you can just have a chat with him, see what's going on, and he'll give you some advice. And if you want to take that and run with it, he's your man. So, mate, Squeeze of the Week winner, thanks to the Standard Squeeze as well, goes out to Michael, coach of Far Q All, which is basically how I feel about Supercoach this week.
That's what Kevy said.
No, isn't that what Ricky Stewart said to all the cameramen at GIO last week?
That was brilliant.
So good. 15:35 Michael got last week. Very impressive for the second last round. And it'll be very interesting to see what the final highest score is going to be this round. I'm actually really intrigued to see what happens on a next week. Because I reckon the highest score for the round is going to be like 1,200. It's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Also, Tim's still in the lead. He's got a 180-point lead. So he's in 21st overall, coach of the Lane Train. So he's led the comp for a while now for the Unlimited group. So Tim basically has the Supercoach ring in his pocket right now. If we can get, if Tim's a regular watcher or listener or whatever, we'll try and get in touch with him, because he's going to win that ring. But hey, anything can happen. We've seen the carnage from this week. Brett is second, Mighty Spurs. He's in 82nd, and he's about 180 points behind. So, I mean, if Tim doesn't have any trades left and he gets caught with 11 players like some have this week, and Brett got lucky and has 15, 16, God, anything could happen.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't bring in DWZ as a 2-week play like me last week.
I was so fucking close to doing that too. I'm really glad I didn't.
Oh,
played out beautifully for me to get Drinkwater, because I'm like, oh, I'll get Drinky. I don't really care about round 27. He plays the Panthers. Who cares? Whatever. And the Panthers will rest heaps of players. So maybe Drinky will get a good run against some reserve grade guys. And here they are, the Panthers, literally one of the only teams in the comp playing their full strength side this week minus Jerome Luai, which is just the irony is incredible.
Yep. Oh, well, maybe Drinkwater will score 8.
87 would be good. How many do you have available this week, mate? I know there's a lot of people that have maybe 11, 12, 13 people. How many have you got?
15. Can I make a couple special mentions to the blokes in my team?
You can, absolutely.
Coming through with the goods, has not been seen since round 2, Mr. Braden Williami.
Wow, give him a clap. Braden Williami, welcome back.
I have had him in my team all year. I've always felt he was a season-long keeper. And I tell you what, coming off the bench this week for the Wars, I feel a big game for him myself. Last time I saw him, he was a centre, and now he's coming off the bench, so I don't know how that works. But maybe he's packed on a few kilos in Reggie's. I don't know.
I'd say he's just going to be used as a utility. He'll just fill in wherever. It'll be interesting to see how they use him. He'll get the best 11 minutes off the bench you've ever seen.
You probably won't catch me watching the Wars with no good players versus the Dolphins, who are fielding their normal team, but also have no good players. So,
hey, there's one that I'm looking at this week that could be a VC. Just one. It's an obvious choice, but hey, you never know. Zarko could go big this week. Yeah, no. Oh, so sorry, I forgot about how good Ewan Aiken was. Sorry, there's 2 guys I'm looking at this week. Mate, let's quickly talk through Carnage, and we'll tackle comments. And guys, drop your comments below if you have any questions for this week. If you've got a trade that you want to use that you're not quite sure where to go, hit us up. Let us know. This will be a pretty short show, if I'm completely honest. There won't be a ton to talk about, but we'll talk through the guys out in the top 1%.
Mate, I've got so much to talk about. I've got 12 minutes lined up to talk about Blake Moser.
Yeah, well, you let me know when you're going to start, and I'll leave. And
Cool.
Yeah, that can be your show. Players out in the top 1%, mate. Kalen Ponga, 97% owned. He's out. Harry Grant, 95% owned. He's out. Rumoured to have an injury as well. I think it's a shoulder. So we'll see if he's good for week 1. I'd say he is. Ty Munro, 76% owned. Everyone's had him forever. Bit of a kind of bench nuff, really. 76% owned. He's obviously out. Hopgood on the buy at 75%. Payne Haas is out too, 74%. Munster, 74% owned. Tohu Harris is out as well with an injury. They're worried about him maybe not even going to be ready for semis if they make it. So that's a bit of a concern for the Waz. Ruben Garrick's still out, 65% owned. Chance Nickel-Klokstad getting a rest as well as AFB. They're in the 50s. Johnny Bateman as well, 45% owned. How rude is that? John
Johnny
Bateman
Bear.
not getting picked this week. That is criminal.
Maybe he's not in the
45%
Tigers'
owned.
best 17.
No. I think he's in the Tigers' best 1. No, he's in the Tigers' best 2. Him and Happy Coruscant. That's about it. Dallin Watani as
Him and Adam Dwayne will tear up Reggie's this week.
Forgot about Adam D. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, so we'll leave it at that.
It's Dwayne.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. So Johnny Bateman's out. DWZ's out, 43%. Sean Johnson, 40% owned. He's out. He gets a rest. Reece Walsh, 30% owned. He gets a rest. Corey Horsburgh, the news has just come out that he failed his judiciary hearing and will miss 4 weeks. So even if the Raiders make the top 8, he's going to miss the whole finals campaign, which will hurt Canberra. But is it good for Joseph Tarpany this week? I bloody hope so, because he better play some big minutes to make it up for me this week. Nick Meaney, 26% owned. Dane Gagai, 17% owned. Latrell, 15% owned. There's 15 players in the top 31 most owned players are not playing this week. There's nothing you can do about that. Absolutely nothing you can do. And that just goes to show that this year, it didn't matter how well you planned. I reckon the winner this year has an asterisk next to him. It's like the bubble championship for the Lakers, Matty. It's a bubble championship this year for Supercoach winner. I'm going to go ahead and say it. But you know what? If the 8th place comes through and wins, which we'll talk about, he's got obviously 3 trades and a boost up his sleeve. He's, I think, 201 points behind the guy in 8th.
Yeah.
The guy in first has no trades left and 11 players active. This guy has 15 players active, including Joey Manu this week, and 3 trades to use. So he could have a full squad this week. So if he wins, I'm going to give it to him. That could be the most genius save of a trade and a boost you've ever seen in Supercoach history.
He needs to change his name to Stephen Bradbury if he wins.
Yeah, that is a very good comparison, actually.
Because you've got to be in. He's in 8th with 3 trades and a boost. Like, he's in 8th. He's put himself at least in the final.
Yep.
And he's come through, and all these guys are just going to fall over at the line.
His team name, for anybody who wants to go and check him out, is Mauritius Maniacs as well. There's a bit of fire about that.
Can you spell Mauritius for me?
No.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, 201 points behind. So he's got 15 plus Joey Manu. So he could have 16 if Manu ends up suiting up. Plus 3 trades. God, he honestly, if it's his to win, basically. Yep. Good on him for holding those trades. That's huge. So, mate, let's move on to these games and tick them off as we go. There's not really, Broncos Storm could honestly be the worst viewing or the best viewing game of the year, game of the week.
Yeah, look, I was supposed to be going, and I'm probably just not going to bother. I'll just go to the Storm next week.
Yeah, there's no point in going. Look at the players out. Walters, Mam, Farnworth, Staggs, Haas, Walsh for the Broncos. And then listen to this one. Melbourne Storm, Munster, Welch, Grant, Hughes, Seve, Nass, Meaney, Eisenhuth, Liero, Kamikamika, and Coates. All out. There is absolutely no point watching this game on Thursday night. I probably still will because I've got nothing else going on. But I'll tell you what, if NBA 2K might get a workout that night, because this could be all sorts of God knows what.
I anticipate a message. Also, can I mention, you just mentioned the outs for the Broncos. And yes, they're bad. But have a look at the blokes in the reserves. So Catewell, Hetherington, and Cobbo are in the reserves and probably won't play as well.
That's a good point. Quick shout out. And Mark's mentioned it in the chat here. And a round of applause for Jack Howarth, who makes his debut, plays his first game. I actually thought that guy was never going to get a game. I genuinely thought he was hated.
I genuinely thought he was just a salary cap myth. And like they were just keeping his $500,000 a year that they were keeping like in a slush fund that they used for Mad Monday.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, unfortunately, they're going to have to wait for a few weeks for Mad Monday, the boys. But maybe it'll be a good one for them. All right, Sea Eagles, Tigers. Sea Eagles have kind of named a relatively full strength team here. DCE. I mean, my targets for this game, and I actually like this game. If you've got a trade up your sleeve, you want to get a bit spicy. I would be looking at Olakau'atu or even Jason Saab or Tolu Kola this week. I think those three guys could go massive this week against that left edge of the Tigers. The Tigers have nothing to play for. They're already thinking about which Campbelltown pub they're going to go to on Mad Monday. It could be MacArthur Tavern. Maybe they'll even go to Camden Hotel. Who knows? But it's going to be massive for the Tigers. And they've got a foot in the pub already. So I reckon the Sea Eagles, even though they're not playing for a top 8 spot, I think they might want to prove a point to finish the year.
You know what? Them lifting for Mad Monday, I'm happy for them because that's the first time they've lifted in about 8 weeks. So,
yep, agreed. I mean, the last time we lifted was against Penrith in the rain when we won. I just wanted to throw that out there. Do you remember when we won against Penrith? Does anybody remember that? I remember it.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that game in particular probably got Dream Buller another contract, but I also like Daly Cherry Evans in this one. If you've got the trades, the worst thing is you're probably still going Cleary and Nico as your two best halves. But if you're sitting there with SJ and you do have a trade up your sleeve, I don't mind Daly this week.
I think some people moved on Nico last week, thinking that potentially there was a chance he might not play again this week. Luckily, he's been named for those that held, but Nico to DCE last week paid dividends massively. So, and DCE could do the same thing again this week. So,
yep.
Mate, anything else on this one?
Look, not really. Again, we're not talking about having a lot of trades, but Sea Eagles could go huge. And can
in the
Sea
first
Eagles
2
make
games,
the finals here?
No, they can't. No, they don't.
Cool. Sea Eagles could still go huge because they're angry.
Yeah, that's my thinking. They'll turn up, I think, and it's at home for them, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it is. It's 4 Pines Park. So this could be a massive end of the year. They'll want to thank their fans, I think, and DCE isn't someone who's going to go out and give a half-assed performance because they've got nothing on the line. So I'll back him in to have a big one. Any VC options? I mean, you could VC if you had a Saab or a Kola or DCE, Olakau'atu, one of those 4.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have any of those guys, so I wasn't really looking at it. But yeah, probably more Cola or DCE.
Yeah, I like it. Rabbitohs Roosters, mate. This one is probably going to be the game of the round, hopefully, if or maybe one of 3 games you even want to watch this weekend. Both teams as full strength as they can be. Latrell Mitchell obviously misses out for the Rabbitohs. It's a big loss. Blake Taft plays fullback for him. Isaac Thompson has also come in and replaced Tane Milne. I didn't even remember Isaac Thompson was in this team. He went missing at about round 13, and then now he's back in round 27 just as they lead into finals. So not quite sure what's going on there. Joey Manu's been named as well, which is big for owners. There is apparently a 50-50 chance that he plays this one. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, I hope he plays for my Supercoach team. But I would be surprised if he played from what I saw.
Yeah, it looked ordinary, didn't it?
Yeah, and Sully, he was good at fullback last week. Like, they'll just make the change early. I think that we'll know a little bit out. Oh, sorry, Teddy's back. Yeah, look, I don't think Manu plays, and I think you play Manu, but him in the centres isn't a captain option or anything like that anyway. So,
not a chance. Look, hamstring injuries, we know recurring injuries as well. We've said it all year. So there's a lot of risk playing him this week. Imagine if you play him again and he does it worse this week. I know that it's do or die for the Roosters this week. They need to win this game to make the top 8. So maybe they do just go and do their best and try and rehab him as much as possible, prepare him for this game, and then throw him out there and hope for the best. Maybe that's the play.
Yeah, and maybe he ends up going to the bench or someone. Oh, I just thought that maybe there would have been a bit more of a center option on the bench if they thought that, and I'm not really seeing one there.
Yeah, that is true. Good point. Who wins this one? The Roosters get up because I'm not trusting the Rabbitohs to turn up.
Supercoaches, if Angus Crichton gets 8 again.
That is true. I like it. He'll be a pickup in round 1 next year.
But the Roosters win. Honestly, with all the bad publicity that the Rabbitohs have gone through, I think they're shot. I thought they were a title chance this year, the way they were playing earlier, the way that Cody Walker was playing earlier, the way that Campbell Graham was playing earlier. Latrell's come back and had the world on his shoulders and sort of hasn't handled it too well, to say the least. But the Bunnies have imploded, and it's always good to see.
Agreed. Would you VC anyone from this game? Maybe Teddy could be an option as a VC this week.
Yeah, look, Teddy, I'm not touching any Rabbitohs players with a VC. Yeah, it's probably only Teddy for me.
Cody Walker, not an option, not a fan.
Not anymore. He's let me down too many times in the last probably 5 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Like he's played himself out of form. Like if we're talking 10 weeks ago, Cody, then yes. If not, I'm not even interested in VC. You've still got good players on your team playing this week. You've got your Clearys, you've got your Nikos, you've got your Dave Fafiters. There's better options than the blokes playing in this game outside of probably Teddy. He could have a huge one. If they win, it'll be on Teddy's brilliance, probably.
Probably, I'd say so. And look, Sam Walker being back is massive for the Roosters. I think he'll play a big part. Luke Keary's been playing some good footy lately. Joseph Suaalii, who knows, if they continue to go right a lot, he could be in the game. I just know that when Teddy plays fullback, I feel like the outside backs struggle a little bit. He feels maybe crabs across the field and kind of jams up his edges a little bit too much. But still, I think the Roosters get up. I think they win this one. Dolphins v Warriors. Warriors not really worth watching this week, unfortunately. Would have been a nice little target, like you were mentioning at the start of the ep. Getting in DWZ, getting in SJ, getting AFB. Most people have Tohu Harris. Everybody was looking for these great options for the Warriors, and they've let us down this week by getting rested. How dare they get rested?
Against a good matchup too, like looking at him against the Dolphins just has you going yum 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 yum, and then this turd. I mean, I like Tamari Martin as much as the next guy, but like when he's playing footy,
yeah, it's good to see him back. It'll be first game, so obviously this is perfect timing with Luke Metcalf going down with an injury with a hamstring last week.
Yeah.
So he'll miss some time by the looks of things, and Tamari Martin slots straight back into the 6. Happy days.
Yeah, and I might watch it just because I want to watch Tamari Martin play, and I suppose I actually don't mind watching Ronald Volkman play either, to be honest. And I like watching the Dolphins lose usually. So
yeah, let's hope that happens then. Hey, Braden Williami, you can't miss his return either, can you? You got it. He's done you a solid this year. He's been one of your best on ground.
Can I be honest? I've always been a big Braden Williami fan from way back. Yeah, I feel like I grew up with him. He's been with me all year. And you know what? I know he wasn't, but I feel like he was sitting there on the couch watching a lot of these games with me. Him being on the bench, him being sidelined, me being the coach. He gave me some advice throughout the year. And I feel like it's credited to my 10,000 finish. So thanks to Braden Williami.
His jewel has been very handy for you in trades. That's all I'll say.
You're my boy, Blue.
Jermaine Asako VC. I kind of like it this week.
Have a big one. Yeah, he could still have a big one.
I mean, the Dolphins, I feel like will probably put points on. This could be a big scoring game. I think there'll be a lot of footy thrown around. Dolphins have nothing to lose. I think Uncle Wayne also is quite proud. He's not going to want to go and lose when he's named nearly a full-strength Dolphins team to a reserve grade Warriors team. He's not going to want to lose this one, so I think they'll prove a point this week. And obviously the Warriors don't care about winning, so it's not really important to them this week. So yeah, Azarko VC, if you have him, I think is the play.
Yeah. Look, good to see Jack Bostock get a run again. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? He's I mean, he'll probably see a fair bit more time next year, I think, depending on what happens with you and Aitken and They've still got Tessie New, I think, on contract over there. Like there's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of outside backs. That's
I'm a bit disappointed to watch him play. I know he only played 3 times this year, but he was just one of those guys that you sort of had your eye on, sort of hoping that he got a bit of practice playing with the Firths a little bit. He's absolutely bottom dollar. He's below 210K. I hope he doesn't rise in price. But
fingers crossed.
If he's named round 1 next year, he's a bloke that I'm targeting. So
for sure. Guys, the show's also sponsored by the Standard Squeeze. Can never forget the guys from the Standard Squeeze. You can use the code Insight15. Go to thestandardsqueeze.com. We've both got our 4-in-1s as we always do every single show. I haven't got anything alcoholic in mind because it is a Tuesday night. I am a good boy at times.
Me neither. It's a Tuesday night.
Yeah. And you're just on the solos tonight, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm just on the solos tonight. So
yeah. Can't help himself. Insight 15, use the code. Go and get yourself some good stuff. Father's Day's coming up as well, and these guys ship out incredibly quick. You'll probably end up having it before the weekend if you ordered today. So go on there, check it out. Panthers, Cowboys, mate. Probably. Yeah, no guarantees. Panthers near full strength without Jerome Luai in this one. The team that we thought would be resting players more than anybody else. And it looks like they've staged their restings over the last fortnight. So they come into this one nearly full strength, minus Luai, I guess. Isaac Tungo's still in the reserves again, so Tyrone Peachey could make way for him if he's fit. But what are your thoughts on this one, mate? Look, Penrith should do a number on the Cowboys.
Absolutely kicking myself that I didn't bring in Dylan Edwards instead of Dallin or Greg Marju. I nearly did it about 10 times over.
But I mean, like Dylan Edwards didn't play last week, did he?
Yeah, I know, but it was a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to get in Dylan Edwards. He was at just sub 500K. I wish he didn't play this week because he was going to finish the season on 520K. I'm just disappointed in Dylan Edwards.
Fair. Yeah, it is his fault that he got rested. Honestly, I've got Drinky in this one. I've got Nathan Cleary. Nathan Cleary is always going to be a VC or a C option, isn't he? Like, well, are you thinking or looking at him as your captain this week, or are you thinking a little bit spicier considering everyone's going to be really short?
I'm not thinking that spicy, but I'm still not thinking Cleary.
Okay, cool. I'll be interested to hear who you're going with this week. Yeah, I think Cleary could be a VC into an. I mean, you can't do a Nico C. So you've got to make your decision whether you want to go with Nico on Sunday afternoon at PointsBet against Canberra, or whether you want to go with Cleary against the Cowboys at at PointsBet at Bluebet Stadium. PointsBet, Bluebet, bloody sponsors everywhere. Gamble responsibly. People that got Brian obviously a couple of weeks ago, they'll be happy that he's been named again. Sanir Taruva's back in the team after missing last week with Dylan Edwards. So I think the Panthers want to prove a point here after a pretty ordinary loss.
Still no Tungo. I know he's in the reserves, but he might be getting closer. He might play the first week of finals. I suppose they're not rushing him back with how good Peachy's been. But yeah, Tungo's been one of the best. And still just haven't seen him. I thought it was a 1-week injury, and he's missed about 4. So
yeah, initially that's what they were saying. So I guess not. But I have a feeling he'll slot into this team. I think they'll just want to get some Ks in his legs before finals. It doesn't make sense. If he's ready to go, it doesn't make sense to bring him back in the first week of finals. Give him a run, get the cobwebs out this week. I think that's probably what we will see.
I think if he's in the reserves, he's just probably not ready to go. So.
And he was in the reserves last week too. So maybe they're just keeping their options open. And you're right. Peachy's been great. And I would love Peachy to play because he's in my draft team for grand final. So please have another week off, Tungo.
Yeah, he might be a captain this week with Kalen Ponga out. So
may as well be, I reckon. I've made a few waiver claims. So we'll see if they come through tonight or tomorrow morning at like 5 o'clock.
Oh, I was wondering why you were sending me all those text messages asking me to drop my players.
Don't be like that, mate. I'm above the. I always play above the line. Don't you worry. Any Cowboys options here? I mean, they're playing kind of a full strength team. Hylam Lukey's obviously in for Nanai still this week, starting on edge. Anything worth talking about with these guys?
I didn't mind Tommy Dearden a few weeks ago. It was when I was going to get rid of Cody Walker, and I didn't mind him for last week's matchup. He got 68 last week, but it was this matchup against the Panthers that I was worried about. So I suppose with all the other stuffs going in, if you're bringing in some guys, you bring them in against one of those teams that are resting a lot of players rather than bringing in a guy that's playing an almost full-strength Panthers team.
Yep, good shout. Dragons Knights, goodness me, don't really care about the Dragons at all, but Lockie Miller is in. He is back for which is great to see because I love Lockie Miller as a player, but it's just a shame he's going over to the Super League next year.
Yeah.
It's a shame they've lost him. So,
I mean,
bit of carnage for the
up
Knights.
on him. They gave up on him.
It's definitely not his fault. Love him as a player. I mean, and they've fucked up massively. They've basically said, yep, come over, be our fullback. And then, just kidding. Pong is our fullback now off the Rezzies.
And the worst thing is he would have played
managed.
this year. He would have played this year for the Sharks. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Knight's gonna Knight.
That's right. Now, speaking of Knights gonna Knight, Ponga misses, but Gagai and Frizzell are also out. Phoenix Crossland, I don't really care about that. But Gagai, Frizzell and Ponga are big losses for the Knights. Jack de Bellin returns for the Dragons. The Dragons are playing what the Dragons would call a full-strength squad. Still not a good team, but I reckon there's every chance the Dragons get a win here. Now, the Knights don't need to win to stay in the top 8. They've secured their spot, which is fine. And they're 6th. They can't go any higher than, I think, 5th anyway, so it didn't matter. There's some value here on the punt this weekend.
Yep.
It'd be very interesting to see some big penalties being thrown
There's
around.
not really. They're almost paying the same each. I don't think either of them are above $2, so I don't know.
Oh, I'm just mean like if you're getting $1.90 for the Dragons to win a game, like it's actually to be fair, maybe the value isn't there for this game.
Yeah, I'll just go bet on speed walking or something.
Is that a thing? Did you just come up with that off the top of your head? That's probably one of your worst, I reckon.
Thanks, man. It means a lot. I mean, saving that one for 27 weeks, and you shoot me down like that. I've got all my jokes written on a wall here behind me, and speed walking. It's like, no, I saved that for the grand finale of Tinlist Tuesday, and you fucking shoot me down.
Yeah, save it for the most viewed episode of the week where everybody else has given up on Supercoach for sure. 100%.
Thanks to everybody, all 14 of you, for watching tonight because, I'm not. This is the time of the year where a lot of people fade off Supercoach. I normally would. I probably am. But we're here. We're watching it. And we're having a 10.
We said that we would see the year out, so we'll do that. Yep.
Jack de Bellin's in.
Yeah, no. That's what I said. Did you just completely ignore me?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
that's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I like him coming back in the last round of the year when there's nothing to play for. That's really good from him. I thought he would honestly be on Mad Monday already about a month ago.
He has been, but he's worked himself back to fitness for 2 weeks. What he had 5 weeks off?
Something like that. 4 or 5. Yeah.
I don't hate bringing in, if you've got to get in a front row forward and you don't have the duels to move around. I don't actually hate Jack de Bellin.
I like Jack de Bellin as a player. I mean, he was very popular mid-year. He was doing a good job. His base is always through the roof. There's a bit of attacking upside there for him. I mean, if you got to trade though, you're not getting him in. Get Pappy. All aboard the Pappy train for 1 week.
Oh, you might have 3 in a boost.
Hey, maybe 8th place does. Mate, let's tackle these last 2 games. Titans Bulldogs. Fuck me, what a game. This would be an interesting one. Not that I care, but everyone's name for the Titans really. There's no Preston for the Bulldogs, but Max King plays lock. You've got Sutton and Raymond Fatala Mariner in the reserves. There's no real Supercoach relevance here aside from Tino and David Fafita, who have both been named, which is fantastic because I don't think anyone would want to lose those guys considering that we've already lost bloody 15, 16 players already.
Yeah, at least they're rolling them out. Luke Thompson gets another run. Kickout gets another run. Mo Fodawaker's back. Did he have a week off? Yeah, Mo's back.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He had a kid.
Oh, There you go. Congratulations to Mo.
Yeah. Anyway, let's skip this game. A bit of a bore
I
fest. Shark.
If
Sorry, go.
I could vice captain David Fafita against the Dogs.
Vice captain very late though. Would you do?
Yeah.
So,
Captain Nico.
but can you even VC loop if Fafita went big?
Yeah, I've got like fucking 37 out.
Yeah, I suppose you do. And if you've got an eel, they're on the buy, so they lock out last. That's my only concern. Depends if you've got a shark or a raider out, you can VC. But if you don't,
I've
you kind
got
of cooked.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to make it work.
Cool. Mate, this last game of the round should be okay. At least we finish the gear on a high. Sharks versus Raiders, bit to play for here. Raiders obviously trying to stay in the 8. Sharks obviously trying to stay in the 8. I think they're pretty close on the ladder. I want to try and find it somewhere if I can.
I think Sharks are still 5th.
You sure? Let's have a look real quick because I have they're 6th. Yeah, the Knights jumped them.
By the Knights. Yeah.
So if the Rabbitohs win, can Sharks and Raiders get knocked out here? If Cowboys and Rabbitohs both win, one of them may drop out. That's the only way they can
but Cowboys, but Sharks would have to lose by a lot, and Cowboys would have to win by a lot for Cowboys to jump. So the only chance is if there's a 30-point swing between the Rabbitohs and the Sharks.
Okay, it's still mathematically possible then, I guess. Very interesting though. That'll be a good way to finish the year. Nico Hines C. Thoughts? Is that the direction you're going?
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure I can vice captain for feeder, so I might have to look at that. Unless I just play. You see, I don't have a Raider not playing. I thought I had a Raider not playing.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't have a Shark, and I don't have an Eel, so I might have to rethink. Because I might just straight captain for feeder and vice captain Cleary, to be honest.
Yeah, I like that too, to be honest. I like Fafita against the Bulldogs. He could do it. He could score a double against them, and that could be big. Nico C is a good option here. If you got Mulatalo, luckily he's been named. He should be better with Nico Hines back as well. Britton Nickera also benefits from Nico Hines being back. So there's a lot of dominoes to fall there that'll benefit people that held on to those Sharks players. Corey Horsburgh obviously misses as well. So big out for the Raiders. Tarpany's still named. The Raiders have relatively kind of named their close to full strength squad, I guess. They've got a fair bit to play for. So
did Jared Croker not named?
He's on the bench.
Yep. Oh,
I'd say they're probably they're using him in the 15 or 16 jersey, which is weird.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure how they'll use him, but
Yeah, I mean, at least he gets to play instead, maybe.
Yeah, Pastrami. Yeah, good. Haven't spoken about him for a while.
No, I've missed him.
Mate, let's talk captain, vice captain. We don't need to talk start, sit. We don't really even need to talk trades. Just get Pappenhausen in. Just enjoy yourself. Thoughts on some good captains, vice captains? We've mentioned them already. DCE or Olakawatu, Kohler, someone like that is a good VC option against the Tigers. Teddy maybe is a good VC option against the Rabbitohs. Azarko, not a bad VC or C, depending on how you use your VC in the first couple of games against the Warriors. Cleary, then captain, Fafita captain, Nico captain are probably the 3 best options there. I want to personally get a bit spicy with it. I haven't thought about how I'm going to use mine yet, but my VC, I want to go with someone with massive upside. Now, I've got 17 available this week. I didn't mention it at the start. Like I don't know how that's happened, but I've got 17 players named, including Joey Manu. It could end up being 16, but if Manu plays, I've got a full squad, which is a miracle. I'll probably go with captain for feeder just for fun, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I do from here. I'm sitting 3,000th. A VC, you know what I might? I don't know what I'm going to do with the VC. Maybe Alex Johnston or something, and hope he gets a fucking 4 tries or some shit.
Yep.
I don't know. We don't really have much advice for anybody in this one, do we?
Yeah.
I might be quiet.
Look, if you're punting, get on Braden Williami for a double. I might put the vice captain on him this week, to be honest. I just see him as a generational talent.
You mentioned that at the start, that he was a big part of your childhood growing up as well. So, all in on Braden Williami. So let's quickly talk before we wrap this one up. If people did have a trade, if they did have a trade up their sleeve, maybe 8th place has 3 trades. If you're 8th place right now, you've got 3 trades, you've got to boost up your sleeve. What 3 moves would you make this week?
So
Or which 3 players would you get in? Sorry, it's probably better.
So if you're 8th, you'd have Caleb Ponga. So if I was to get in a fullback this week, I would go Caleb Ponga to Teddy. I would probably go, you could move on somebody like DWZ or CNK or one of those guys not playing, Nick Meaney or somebody around that price point to go get in Jermaine Asako. And then I would probably find a way to get Tolitau Kula in. If I had 3 guys to bank on to win the comp, it would be bring in Tolitau Kula, obviously a fullback playing in the centres, bring in Asako, and bring in Teddy.
I like it. Good advice. Some good trade options there. I think we want to target the games with something to play for. I think that's probably my best advice if you have a trade. So Rabbitohs have something to play for. Roosters do, which is why you've obviously said Teddy. The Panthers also are playing to prove a point this week. So Dylan Edwards could be a great trade in. Maybe one of the outside backs if you don't have Brian To'o. If Isaac Tungo gets named, maybe just throw him in there for a bit of spice. The Panthers could actually come out and put 40 on the Cowboys. So I'd imagine they're not too happy about that loss. So Panthers are a good option. Sharks and Raiders are both good options as well. They've both got something to play for. And also the Knights. The one problem with the Knights are there's no Ponga, there's no Gagai, there's no Frizzell. So, and Mark reckons he'd get AJ Brimson in if he had a trade. I'm not sure if he's taking the piss or not, but that's a little homer for you, isn't it?
Yeah, look, he scored 70 last week. He was looking quite electric. Yeah, I think that's a good play, Mark. I rate it.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting.
Also,
I wish I had a trade.
Yeah, and I know that you were going for teams with something to play for, and the Broncos playing for a minor premiership this week. I'd really consider Tristan Sailor.
Is he going to have the goal kicking? Someone asked me on Twitter. I'm actually not sure of the answer. Do you know?
Honestly, that could be anyone.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Tristan Sailor kicked earlier in the year when he filled in, didn't he, once?
Yeah, probably him, unless, I don't watch enough of the lower grades to know, unless, Smoothie or Moser or somebody like that gets the goal kicking in Reggie's or under 21s in Moses' case. Unless that they're a really good goal kicker, and I just don't know. But Tristan Sailor's not a bad play at 400k or whatever he is.
For sure. I think they were saying the halfback might kick goals as well in Cup. Josh Rogers, the 5'8", sorry, that's been named with Jock Madden. So maybe he gets the kicking because he kicked in Queensland Cup. So anyway, who cares? It doesn't really matter, does it? But hey, Tristan Sailor, you reckon? Buy the round.
Tristan Sailor, buy the round. Yep.
Love it. What a good way to finish our last Tinlist Tuesday with absolute garbage chat. Firstly, guys,
I'm actually wearing my Wendell Sailor shirt tonight.
Yeah, I like it. I wish it had some more maroon around the top. I was saying this before, you can't actually see any of the color because you're sitting down. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame.
I'll message my people.
Yeah, good. Guys, that'll do us. Obviously, end of Teamlist Tuesday, round 27, done and dusted. Look, we've got a couple of days until the games start. I guarantee you there'll be more carnage, more turmoil, more players rested. Hopefully, for those of you that are in the running for either top 1,000, top 100, or maybe you're even higher. I know we've got a couple of guys that are in the top 100 right now in the Unlimited League. So good luck to those guys. Hopefully the trade carnage doesn't hit you too hard. But also just want to say thank you to everybody who hops on every single week as well. That doesn't go unnoticed. We do appreciate it. It's always good fun. And we'll be back on Sunday. We'll do one more episode on Sunday, Matty, I reckon, and we'll basically just do an episode of kind of lessons of the year, things we would do differently, trades, maybe our worst trades, our best trades, and just do a bit of a wrap up of the year on Sunday night to kind of put a fork in everything. But so hopefully everybody joins us for that one to kind of have a little bit of a chat one more time on all things NRL Supercoach. And then, mate, straight into the NBL. You're going to be busy. You got NBA and NBL happening at the same time.
I believe there's some NBL episodes maybe dropping this week. I've got a couple NBA episodes. I had one drop today, one dropping tomorrow, that I've been heavily involved in. And NBL episodes this week. It's a month out from NBL and bit over a month away from NBA. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think about a month and a half away from NBA, late October,
Yep.
I think we're looking at, which is cool. So we've got a bit of time there, but yeah, we're dropping heaps of mock drafts and stuff so you can get a feel for average draft position of a lot of players now. So if you're into your NBA, follow along, hit subscribe, hit like, follow us on audio, wherever it is you get your podcast, we'll be there. Plenty of content coming. And then BBL draft is also Sunday. So we'll get to see on where the international players drop for BBL. So we'll kind of get an understanding of rosters and all that kind of stuff over the next month or so. So Mickey Dell and I will hop on and do a bit of a recap of the international players and where they landed for those cricket nuffs out there. But until then, mate, we've got plenty of content coming, but that'll do us for NRL. Thanks for hopping on with me again. Good luck this week, guys. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Cheerio.